Qualtrics made a big acquisition this week, buying Press Ganey Forsta for $6.75 billion. These aren't two names that we've talked about too much on this show just yet, but Qualtrics is a software giant that helps companies collect feedback from their customers and their employees. And Press Ganey Forsta helps healthcare companies collect similar feedback from doctors and from patients. I want to bring on Zig Serafin, the CEO of Qualtrics, to talk more about this deal. Zig, welcome to TITV. It's great to have you.
Nice to be here, Akash, and you have a nice jam-packed show today. So thanks to having me. Nice to be here.
Well, we are happy to have you leading us off here and starting us off strong. Look, I want to talk about this deal. It's one of the biggest deals in the software market that we've seen as of the past few weeks. Why did you do it?
Well, I think in understanding it more clearly, I think it's important just to give you some background context. You know, we're a critical, cutting-edge partner to market leaders, especially some of the best of brands and companies that are leading with experience, and ones that are focused on their customers, their employees. Or if you step back and say, okay, what's powering that brand technology-wise and how they connect with their customers? It's Qualtrics that's there in the middle. And we have significant impact on how we help companies get closer to their customers. And over the last year, we have seen an extraordinary level of adoption in the AI capabilities that we put into our product suites. Since the launch, we've had more than a third of our customers. So, Akash, more than a third of 17,000 customers we have around the world have adopted capabilities onto the market around AI. About 90% of our top 50 customers have adopted. And so what we found and what we've learned is when you have AI that is purpose-built for the people that it's designed to serve,
right?
It delivers better experiences. It actually drives greater business impact. It drives real returns on the investment that they're making.
Right.
And what we're finding is people want business that's, ultimately want technology that's backed by focusing on the expertise within that industry and understanding the domain-specific things that they're trying to do. So this clearly demonstrates the opportunity that we saw in making the $6.7 billion investment.
Right. So I want to talk about sort of the strategy here. Press Ganey Forsta, I mean, this is a company that has really centered itself around healthcare and learning from doctors and patients that are in the many healthcare companies that it serves. From your end, was this an acquisition that you made to acquire the customer base and sort of expand into healthcare more broadly? Was this a deal that gave you technology that you didn't have? What exactly was the strategic logic here behind the acquisition?
Yeah, I mean, first off, PG Forsta is very credible and has a wonderful track record in healthcare. They've also expanded into other areas and have been enabling market research capabilities as well. But in healthcare, they've got decades of experience in understanding how to drive predictive analytics, being able to provide expertise to healthcare organizations to drive better healthcare outcomes for patients and how providers serve patients.
Right.
And for several years now, we've had customers in the healthcare community that have come to us and said, why don't you actually put the best of the best together? Seeing Qualtrics' proven technology and AI platform more recently, and combine that, if there were a way, with the expertise, predictive analytics that Press Ganey has had in the healthcare space. And so at the end of the day, the focus is on outcomes, purpose-built for their industry, for their customers, for their employees. Ultimately makes a lot of sense for what we're trying to enable in the market. And it's been driven by what customers have been asking for us.
So from what I'm hearing, it was more for the products and not so much the customer base. So it wasn't so much of a hey, we want to gain market share in the healthcare segment. It was that they have products that we needed.
Expertise, predictive analytics, data that when you put it together with Qualtrics actually helps to create a 1 + 1 = equals 5 equation for customers.
Right. It was a big deal. It was a $6.7 billion deal. Qualtrics, of course, went private a couple years ago for, I think it was just north of $12 billion was the takeout valuation. What was the multiple on this deal?
I'll let our finance guys speak to that. But we felt like it's a very healthy acquisition that makes sense. And I think a lot of it has to do with just the right next way in which we can actually provide value to the marketplace.
And I do want to talk to you about Qualtrics has had a really fascinating history, right? It was once a public company. It's gone through many different ownership structures, but you are a private company now with Silver Lake and with CPPIB. I wonder, what is it that you've been able to do perhaps as a private company over the past 2 years that you may not have been able to do as a public company? And how has being owned by private equity firms, how has that sort of changed the way in which you've been able to operate?
Well, I think first off, just the mission of this company. I've been with Qualtrics for 9 years, left after Microsoft, being at Microsoft for almost 18 years. And, we're a very mission purpose led company. Our focus is around helping to um, heighten or elevate the human experience by partnering with organizations around the world to help them understand how to better support and care for their own customers in a more proactive and personal way. And every chapter of this company, we filed to go public. We were acquired by SAP. We then went public after that within SAP, and then we went
Right.
private. Every single one of those milestones, which, by the way, Akash, as you know, is an extraordinary story. You don't see that typically, has been guided by people who are all in on that purpose and that mission in the
Hmm.
organization. So when Silver Lake and the investment groups came to want to partner with us, the goal was to go and create an extraordinary company that actually helps to enable more organizations to innovate around experiences, to get closer to their customers in real time, to build an AI platform that helps to be able to innovate on
Right.
these relationships and these partnerships that we have. So since we went private, we've actually been able to double down. We've become more effective. We've been able to scale on a global level, and it's actually given us the opportunity to make these types of investments, such as the one that we just announced.
And so, what sort of changes have those been? Because we sort of know the private equity playbook traditionally has been to make companies more efficient, reduce costs, optimize headcount, as they say. So, what has been happening at Qualtrics as a private company that has enabled it to make this acquisition financially?
All of it's been on a focus on a customer. So speed in which we actually are able to operate the company on a global level to connect with customers, making sure that the cash flow of the company is dedicated to what we're doing in R&D, advancing some of the core investments we're making in AI. One of the unique things about Silver Lake Partners and the other investors, BDT, MSD, the board of directors, CPPIB, who are also investors in the company, is they're playing the long game. They take pride of ownership in building a company that will be a legacy to live on for
Right.
long term. And they built, they had amazing investments over the years. Example, Dell, VMware. They
Right.
worked with Broadcom. And more recently, some of the other investments have been talked about in the marketplace. So we have a group of partners who have sincere interest in building an amazing company that actually provides a lot of value to the marketplace, and especially at a time where the market's changing, technology is going to change, and we're
And
seeing a moment
software
to actually
companies are.
really innovate.
Right. I mean, AI has certainly, it's certainly changed the game for software companies, and I'm excited to see how it's changing how you operate Qualtrics in the marketplace. Thank you so much, Zig, for coming on and talking about this big acquisition you've done. I'm excited to see how it evolves, and we'll have to have you back again to talk more about how you're pushing even further into the healthcare market. That is Zig Serafin, the CEO of Qualtrics.